for either of you, a number of your former teammates from that 2011 Cup squad were in attendance yesterday. Did you have any interactions with them afterwards? If you did you allow yourself to enjoy those type of interactions after such an intense battle?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's always special to see them, and we did. They came in the locker room afterwards to say hi, and it's like I said, great guys. Always good to see them. There's a few of them that it's been a while since I've had a chance to see them. So yeah, it's always special every time.
Front right, Steven.
Patrice, you guys have so much kind of depth of speed and skill throughout your lineup. Do you get a sense of what that does to an opponent through a series when you're able to kind of go at them in waves and forecheck as strong as you guys do?
Well, I think it's been what we kind of relied on to get to this point. And I think it's the same thing for St. Louis. That's how you get in this position is by relying on everybody. And I think on our side, everyone contributes, and from one night to the next, it's someone else, I guess, that steps up. And yeah, like I said, I think that's how you can advance moving forward, and that's how you go from one round to the next.
Third row in the center.
For both, please. Coach couldn't really answer why 80% of teams who've won Game 1 have gone on to win the Cup final. From a player's perspective, what is it about getting that first win that changes the series, whether it's momentum on your side or on the other side, there's desperation or whatever else?
I think that anything you do in your life, you want to start on the right foot. You want to have a good kind of, whether it's job or whatever, you want to have a good impression on first day, or you do something, you want to start on the right foot. So I think it goes for anything you do in your life. So obviously in hockey, you want to always start the game right way, be on time, and when you look at the series, you want to get the first one.
On the right side, Kevin.
Zdeno, I know you've worked on your conditioning to be able to play as long as you have, but you're doing this at a time when the game just gets faster and faster and the players are younger and younger. Have you adjusted your style as well to deal with the fact you have a lot of smaller players who are darting around, playing differently maybe than we have in the past? Have you changed the way you play the game as well?
You have to make those adjustments. You gotta be a little bit ahead of the game as far as seeing what's happening with the players coming in, how skilled they are, how fast they are, the systems, the way the teams are being coached, and if then you're gonna be way behind. So I kind of sense where the game was going last few years, and try to really work really hard in off season and during the season on the abilities to read plays better, and not being caught in a wrong position or wrong side of the puck, but try to use obviously my size still into my advantage. But you're right. I mean, it's pretty obvious that the game got a lot faster than late 90s. I mean, it's pretty clear that. But I think that if you continue to work on your game and work hard to be better, you can play for a long time and any type of game.
Right side, second row.
Zdeno, this kind of naturally follows that up a little bit. You had the Instagram video with Tom Brady yesterday, and you guys are both older athletes in this city that are still competing for championships and things. Is there a kind of a mutual admiration going on between the two of you guys, and do you kind of watch him and see a little bit of the same competitive fire and wanting to stay elite as you get older?
Excuse me. Well, I can only speak for myself, but we all admire Tom, what he's been able to accomplish, and Patriots, the whole organization, and the team and players, the coaching staff. Obviously, it's been doing this for decade. They've been on top of their game, and but as far as Tom, of course, I think that it's not a secret that he's one of those world athletes that everybody look up to, and he's been very successful in what he does and how he prepares himself, and he's true professional. He's obviously great human being and very smart and well spoken, and so I only have great experiences talking to him, and for sure I really admire him.
We'll do 2 more in English. Right side, John.
A question for both Zdeno and Patrice. Guys, in what ways do the contributions and the style of the Corrali line remind you of the Merlot line from 2011?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, if you go back to 2011, that line was huge for us the whole year, and even in the playoffs, they came in and scored some big goals or just giving us some momentum that we needed at times during games. And I think it's a fair comparison when you look at Sean and his line, what they've been able to do for us night in and night out, and stepping up, but in big moments, and they've been doing it since the start of the year, and they just keep showing up for us.
Pretty much what Patrice said, but to me, they really know what they expect from each other. When they're on the ice, they kind of know that they want to be in a position where they can skate, they can forecheck, they can have the puck and possession of the puck, and they work really extremely hard. And I think that a lot of times you overlook those type of players or lines, how big they play, and especially during the season when they not necessarily get on the scoring sheet, but they do so much for the team besides scoring. So it's great they are getting recognition, and they're getting a lot of credit, because in playoffs you have to rely on your depth and obviously play 4 lines.
Last question in English on the left side, Joey.
Patrice, there are certain players that no matter where they play, the level, they always just happen to find success. You've done it. What are the characteristics of a player in order to achieve that, specifically when it comes to a guy like Noel?
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where when you're you have a taste of it. I think that's when you kind of want more, and I think Noel has done it in college level, and he's been a captain, he's been a leader, and he kind of brings that to us, I guess, in a way. And it's one of those guys is always going to step up and ready for anything. And we talked about that line. He's a huge part of that line, and the little details that he does on the ice, but also you can't forget what you do and what you bring off the ice. And he's, like I said, a true professional and a leader, and it's you feed off of guys like that.
All right, Z, you can leave. We'll do a couple in French now for Patrice.
Thank you.
And the